Here's a riddle for you. How is this movie like the Rocky movies? Because there's a training montage. Deal with it.
I know your moustache. From the papers. You're the detective, Hercule Poirot?
Hercule Poirot, I do not slay the lions, mademoiselle.
Mary Debenham, monsieur. I'll forget a name, but never a face. Not yours, anyway.
You come from Baghdad?
It's true. No detail escapes his notice.
Your ticket? I might also ask you if you enjoyed your time there as a governess. The chalk on your sleeve and the geography primer. A governess or a cartographer? I made my gamble.
Murder on the Orient Express sees Kenneth Branagh coming to the big screen directing and starring as Hercule Poirot, the famous detective from the Agatha Christie novels, bringing an all-star cast around him, including Johnny Depp, Daisy Ridley, many others. Do they all come together to form an interesting whodunit? And how often do we get to see whodunits? Here's 5 things you might want to know about Murder on the Orient Express. We see whodunits often, especially on television, but not like this. This is old school, check all the suspects, put them in the same place kind of whodunit, and I'm glad. I had a great time with this movie. I will say, and we'll start off with a yellow. This is just kind of a caution, because I love this, but I don't know that you will. Kenneth Branagh is making choices here that I think are very distinct to this style. He's willing to use the camera in slow movement ways, where he's panning across these people, these characters who are becoming suspects. And, you know, it's almost as if the camera is as curious and investigative as he is. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is now. It's like the camera is becoming a secondary part of Hercule Poirot's character. And I love that. I love what he's doing here. But as for that, you're not used to this. It's very Shakespearean. The acting has that exaggeration quality to that. You don't see that necessarily a lot in modern cinema, but I had a great time with it. So let's talk about what I enjoyed and start here. I love the way these characters dialogue with each other. I just think some of these conversations are not only fascinating, but they're full of humor and intelligence. And it's one of those movies, and I sometimes do this with a movie if I've already seen it especially, where I like to put on the closed captioning just because I like to read almost the poetry that's happening between these characters and the way the tete-a-tete that they're having. And now a lot of that is due to the source material. Agatha Christie was so brilliant in that way and so funny in that way. And a lot of that humor is just baked into what's going on here, but it's funny and intelligent, and that's a great combination for me. The other thing that the movie gets so right in a murder mystery is helping us understand the characters, the motives, where they come from, why they're suspicious, why they may be not suspicious. It's a really interesting look at all these different characters. That's not easy to do. Props to Kenneth Branagh for getting all this on screen in a way that the audience isn't confused and the audience understands. Now, a lot of that is also due to the performances here, which I think are really good. He himself, as this amazing detective, I think is so distinct and well drawn that I just loved it. This is a movie I came out of going, I want more. I want more sequels. I don't know that I'll ever see them, but I want to see this detective solve more cases because I love him as a character. Can't overstate that enough. When you want to hang out with a character, you want to watch the movie and you're having a good time. I will also say Johnny Depp is part of that as well. In fact, they have a conversation in this movie that is one of the most compelling two people sitting at a table conversations I've seen in a while. Overall, I just felt like there was so much great character development in all of these people that allowed you to dive into the murder mystery in a really deep way. And let's center in on our main character for this 4th point, because I want to hang here for a second and just say, I feel like we get so much Sherlock Holmes stuff, right? And we love him for the same reasons. His intelligence, his quirks, who he is, solving mysteries. And I think we forget that there are all these other great detective characters that are left to mind, and this is one of them. And it takes the beauty of that Sherlock Holmes thing and turns it into a distinct character whose problem isn't vice, whose problem has more to do with OCD, which I think is perfect for a detective. And the personality that Brana gives this character is so good that I think it is, when I come away from it, the main thing that was going to bring me back to watching this movie. I want to see this character do more. It's really interesting. I didn't come away from this movie feeling like, oh, this is one of the best movies of the year. But as I thought about it more, I was like, I don't really have anything negative to say about it. The one thing I guess I could say is it is a little bit slow, but that's purposeful. And I don't even just mean the pace of it, because I think the pace is very deliberate and works for the movie very well. But I mean the mystery itself develops in a slow way. We're used to faster moving reveals, but it's kind of nice to sit back in that pace. So I don't even know if that's a negative for me. So I guess we'll give it a yellow, but it might be for some. Overall, though, I feel like Murder on the Orient Express was a wonderful surprise. I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. It's not perfect. It has minor things, but there's so much good here for me. I gave it an A-. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the Best Ever Challenge here in a bit. Before we do, let's hang out further. Hit me up on Twitter, Aaron Dicer, AARONDICER. We can hang out there. We can hang out at the podcast. If you do the podcast thing, check out SiftPop, SiftPop. Just search for it in whatever podcast player that you choose to use. And of course, right here on YouTube, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. Subscribers heading up to 2,000. I think just under 100 subscribers to go to hit that 2,000 mark. So thank you for that. It means the world to me. Also, thank you for supporting the channel at Patreon. Patreon.com/YourMovieFriend starts at $3 a month. Some fun perks that go along with it. Thank you for believing in this, enjoying this enough that you would go take a look at that and think about giving a few bucks each month to help keep me doing this. So thanks, appreciate it. All right, on to the Best Ever Challenge, where you name the best movie ever in a particular category. Also try to identify my choice. We talked a lot about Kenneth Branagh, so let's do Best Ever Branagh movies. And let's go with either directing or acting. We'll broaden it right out for you. I'm going to go from the acting department and go with the one where he played an uncredited minor role in a movie where Batman eventually fought the Nazis by dancing. I will also tell you, I'm probably the only one picking this movie, but I love it. Maybe it's because of when I saw it. I love this movie. Take a guess at mine in the comments. First person to get it right does get a point. I'd love to see your choice there as well. And as always, here's a few extra seconds. To hit subscribe, just click my face.